Okay. So those who are new, I request them to introduce themselves. Where are they from? Why this course? And what is the area of specialization that they want to undertake? And why that area specifically? So we'll begin with Tanya.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tanya Singh. I am from Basant Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Banaras Hindu University. And I got this information in my college itself about this Young Skill India, about this management certificate. So I thought about doing human resource management. Still, I'm not confirmed about this, but I have a deeper interest in this human resource.
Okay. Any reason in particular for human resource?
So because basically in this time or this era or this period which is right now continuing, it needs to be very the humans need to be more skilled.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. So by the time we complete this orientation, you'll be able to make sure that which stream or area you should take. I'll take you through this orientation of HR, and I'll also take you through the course on HR also. Okay. Meghna.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If you can tell something about you.
Sir, this is my second class.
Okay. Still, there are many new people who do not know you.
Okay. Myself, Meghna Gupta. I'm from Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya, PHU. And I chose my specialization as Operation and Supply Chain Management. And this is my second class.
Okay. How is it going?
Yeah, till now it's going good. And hoping for more better.
Okay. Great. Srishti.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yes, Srishti. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. I'm Srishti, and I'm from Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya, and I have choose my specialization in HR, but I'm still confused if I should choose HR or tourism management. I'm a little bit confused in this, so
Okay.
I'll decide it in future.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Monica.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you doing? आवाज शायद नहीं आ रहा है.
हेलो.
हाँ जी.
हेलो.
कैसे हैं आप? How are you?
हेलो.
जी बोलिए. How are you doing?
Yes, sir. I'm fine.
You're fine. Great. Adrija Singh.
Yes, sir.
So if you can tell
Good
something
evening, sir.
about
Good evening,
you.
everyone.
Good evening.
Sir, I'm Adhija. Sir, I'm from Basant Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Kamakhya, Varanasi. So I have joined this course. Here I will join many such people whose contribution is very important to me. And From here, I will also know about our system, and it will also know that what we can do important in life. And one important thing is that, sir, I love talking to those people who can teach something from their experience. And so I'm
Okay.
very happy to join.
Yeah, you were saying something?
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, yes, very much. Okay, Bharat ji.
Good evening, sir. I am from Delhi, sir, and I study in class 11. I am from GD Goenka, and I have joined this because I wanted to do things. So, like, it is an advantage also because everything is online these days, so we can cope up with the people now only in small age only, and I like these digital things and a lot, and management also, like Neeraj sir told me, it is very beneficial. So I have taken this also, and I'm liking it. It is my first class, and I'm interested also in this because, as Neeraj sir told me, that it would be good for you. So I also want to join it.
Fair enough, Bharat. Fair enough. So it is good, to get certain skills when you are studying. It is for everyone. Okay, that
Yes, sir.
when you are studying, you get certain skills which are equally important along with the knowledge and education that we acquire during our academics. So these skills will definitely help when you go in the market for the employability perspective, right? Okay. So can someone quickly recap the previous sessions?
Sir, evolution of this human resource.
Okay, कब हुआ, कहाँ
How
से
this?
हुआ?
Yes, sir. Sir, याद तो नहीं आ रहा है अभी.
किसी को याद है? अनामिका, अक्षिता, anyone is able? Anamika, Shruti.
Sir, I did not attend the last
1760
class.
BC.
Sorry.
1760 BC.
1760 BC. Okay. फिर then evolution of HR. Then what next?
Sir, objective था, importance था, difference थे.
What is the objective of HR?
Sir, to make the people more efficient in their work, to make them specialized in their work.
Okay.
To reduce employee grievances.
To reduce employee grievances. Okay, very good. Then
To create, maintain, and utilize a competent and motivated workforce.
okay, fantastic.
So to develop and train employees.
To develop and train employees. Okay, fair enough. So all these are when we say scope, it is about objective of HR or the duties of HR, or the activities that an HR personnel performs during the course of his or her employment. Generally, it is a people's department, people's area, where anyone working in human resource is continuously interacting with other human resources of the organization, within the organization, out of the organization, and society at a large. He is a public relation officer also for any organization. At the same time, every manager, every leader is also working, in the capacity of a human resource manager, because he or she is also dealing with the human resource throughout their employments, as and when they get the management cadre, as and when they have a team to look after, they also need to know some of the aspects of human resource. So in corporate, like when we talk about management skills, communication, presentation, there are certain topics which are very mandatory and essential for managers. Okay, there are two such topics. One is HR for non-HR. Those who have not studied human resource as a subject, those are not qualified human resource people, they also undergo a training of 2 days or 3 days, HR for non-HR. So, and they also learn the finer aspects of HR. And another thing is finance for non-finance. So though I'm not from a financial background, but when I'm on a leadership position, I must know the basic concepts of finance. Okay, so therefore, human resource management is essential for everyone. Those who want to make a career in human resource, they study in a different way. And those who are already in employment, when they reach to a level, for them also human resource management is an essential and integral part and of their employment. Okay. So as we said, that 1760 BC, it all started. We have learned that it was Babylonian era when they had a collection of 282 rules which spoke about the conduct, which spoke about the discipline in that era. And that was the first ever evidence of human resource management. Where there was a punishment, there was an appreciation, there was an appraisal, everything was there. So there were 282 rules. Today, when we talk about human resource management, if we talk about these rules and regulations, there are various acts and rules which are applicable in India, to regularize these all human resource activities and conducts. So it all started way back in 1760 BC from the Code of Hammurabi, Babylonia. Then we also learned that there was an industrial revolution in the Western Europe and USA. Then the concept of employment came, the concept of labor officer came, then the trade unions, as workers started being employed in the organization or industries. There were, group of workers, group of laborers, they formed unions. The purpose of union initially was to safeguard the interest of the labor. Eventually, they also become instrumental for, lockdown, slowdown, and strikes and other unrests also. There are many cases where union have been very positive, and there are many cases where union has created a lot of issues for the organizations as well. You all might have heard about Maruti Suzuki plants incident that has happened in Manesar. Okay, so those who want to pursue a career in human resource, I request them to go through this particular case, the Manesar case of Maruti Suzuki. What has happened there? And other union litigations that we will study when we will be in the course details. Then Robert Owen, he said that there should be a humanistic approach. Workers are also human beings. Then Taylor and Fayol said scientific therapy, that there has to be a reward and recognition mechanism for increased productivity. And then it also proposed the time and motion study. Okay, so for a given process, how much time essentially is required? That is time study, and how many movements are required to complete one particular process. This is largely for manufacturing, not for office. So time and motion study was also proposed by Fayol and Taylor. So then we also understood and learned and discussed about welfare department. That was the very first thing. Then labor and industrial relationship. Then came the personal management. Personal management was when people started getting employed, there has to be someone to look after some basic activities of the human resource. That was the personal management. It was all about individual and single activity specific. And today when we are talking about human resource management or strategic human resource management. If you see about revolutions, it was industrial revolution from where it all began. The HR that we see today had begun at Industrial Revolution, then came scientific management. We just saw the time study, motion study, the economic reward mechanism, and the humanistic approach. Then the trade unions, when there were so many workers employed in the industry, they were coming together, forming groups. Those groups were known as unions. They were trade unions. Trade because they were used to exchange or negotiate or bargain with the management or the employer. Therefore, it is trade union. And then there came HR movement. Movement is a lot of changes that came into human resource from personnel management, where it was talent management, employee talent acquisition, talent development, talent management, talent retention, employee engagement. And now the latest, what we talk about is strategic human resource management, where the human resource become a strategic partner for the employees, for the organization's overall growth. Okay, so division of labor in 1976, then Elton Mayo's first human factor approach. He gave different studies and different observations about human behavior at workplace. And in early 30s, 1930, different acts came in existence as far as Indian industrialization was concerned. The Royal Commission of Labor, they said that we should have a labor officer also in the organizations. And in today's Factories Act, they have mentioned, the details about the labor officer, who can be a labor officer. Enactment of Bombay Dispute Council. This was, since there were people coming together, working together, there has to be conflicts, there has to be disputes, and to address those disputes, in 1934, the Bombay Dispute Council Conciliation Act was enacted. Okay, then Government Labor Officer and Industrial Employment Act 1946. This particular act drives your appointment and everything today also. Then there was a development phase when the institutions were getting stabilized in India and abroad for human resource management training and learning. So XLRI or Xavier Institute of Labor Relations, Indian Institute of Labor Management, or Indian Institute of Personnel Management, National Institute of Personnel Management, all these institutions started taking shapes, and they were started, preparing executives and graduates in the area of human resource management. 1951, we got the first personnel officer. It was all government postings. Now, when people came together, when there were disputes, when there were industrialization, there were many industries coming in picture. So then there were disputes among industries. Then there were disputes between employer and employees. So came the industrial dispute, and then came the industrial relation became a major area in the Indian industrialization. IR is a separate stream in human resource management. Okay, and it requires a separate skill set to deal those disputes or the nuisance and difficulties occurring because of this industrial growth. Then gradually, when we transform from industry 1.0 to industry 4.0, that is today, now things are more on the development of people being being with business, not only supporting business, but being an active contributor to the business development. So now, once what was a personnel manager or human resource manager, today he is an human resource business partner. So HR is equally accountable today as far as business growth is concerned. He or she is also required to be aware about what business is, where is it going, what is the trend, what the future lies. He is also a part of the discussion in the boardroom now. Earlier, it was not there. Either in the hierarchy or in the priority in the organization, so far, before this pandemic, HR was the last priority. Production was the first. But then today, they all realize that during pandemic, post-pandemic, there are certain skill sets which were very necessary for for restarting, reviving, rejuvenating the workforce post-pandemic or during pandemic, and therefore HR become a forefront today in the organization. So there were different periods and how the HR changed 1920 to 1920-30s, early 1920s. It was a welfare management. Then came the labor management. Then came efficiency and human values, industrial values. Then talk about productivity of people. Emphasis was more on productivity gaining through human resources, and the role of HR was more on the counselor and developer and teacher. And now today, as I said, we are more on the strategic front, we are more on the analysis front, we are more on business partnering. Okay, now why it is required? It is required because of so many reasons. The objective of human resource, as we also went through just now, create and maintain competent and motivated workforce, reduce employee grievances, train and develop people, and ensure moral and social ethical standards for employees. People behave in a particular way. People conduct themselves in a particular way. Organization do not suffer because of individuals' misbehavior, misfit. What is the scope of human resource management or human resource management? Where all it comes in the picture. It comes in the picture in the staffing, negotiation. When we say collective bargaining, it is nothing but the negotiation or settlement with union and management. Okay, collective bargaining. Then development of employees, self-development or organizational development, motivating people, employee engagement, industrial relationship to ensure that there is a harmony in the business working environment, and improving workforce management through understanding of human resource culture. Functions, as we saw, there were two core distinctions: managerial and operative functions. Managerial was planning and organizing, staffing, structuring, controlling. Operative was procurement, that is recruiting, development, compensation, paying people, maintenance, integration. Integration is aligning workforce with the business requirement, organizational goals, and industrial relationship. When we say procurement, it is about hiring people, the entire process with job analysis, job descriptions, and everything. Development about career planning, training and development, learning and teaching, making resource ready for the next level or succession planning. Compensation, paying adequately, paying righteously, ensuring people are getting value for money and they're paid for what they do. Maintenance and motivation, just to keep people engaged and available for work. And then as I say, integration, it was nothing but the industrial relation, speaking and talking with people across industries and out of industries. On individual level, organizational level, and societal level, HR's contribution and importance. It is working for individual, it is working for organization, and for the society at large. When we talk about CSR, we talk about giving back to society. So there also HR plays a pivotal role, because first it gives an engagement, first it gives an employment opportunity, it ensures engagement, it gives indirect earning to people and the family support, and then helps society through organizations' CSR activities. The careers in human resource management, what all we can do, there can be a generalistic profile who will do everything. There can be specialists in different areas, that is talent acquisition, talent development, learning and development, ODOB, organizational development and organizational behaviors, compliance, compensation and benefit, payroll. So these are the specific areas where you can have a specialization. Also, when we talk about human resource, working in human resource, there are different verticals which can be in possible options for employment. With advancement in technology, there are a lot of jobs that will go away. Okay, but human resource is one area which will evolve, which will transform, but it will not go away because it has a direct human touch. So all those activities which has emotions connected with it are going to stay there. Surgery would be replaced by robots, but consultation will always be with the doctor because it has an emotion, it has a human touch. So similar thing is with human resource. Your processes can be automated, your payroll can be processed automatically, है ना, आज अटेंडेंस के लिए आपको आदमी का जरूरत नहीं है, लेकिन सैलरी प्रोसेस करने के लिए आपको आदमी का जरूरत है. सैलरी कम आएगा, ज्यादा आएगा, गलती होगा, तो उसको रिकंसिलेशन के लिए आपको ह्यूमन रिसोर्स का जरूरत है. Therefore, there are certain areas where human touch is essential because of emotions and connect. Human resource management services are going to stay there. Of course, they will transform, they will change the shape, but they are going to stay. So there are various areas where we can have an expertise. HR generalist we talked about. Then we also discussed about the difference between personnel management and human resource management. Then we talk about talent acquisition. It is nothing but hiring a person. So there was recruitment process, selection process, onboarding and induction. Can someone say what is the difference between recruitment and selection? What is the difference between recruitment and selection? देवी और सज्जनों.
Yes, sir. Can I say?
Yeah, Shakti, please.
Recruitment means an activity of researching for potential candidates and encouraging them to apply. But in selection, a process of selecting the best candidates and offering them for the job.
Fantastic, fantastic. Very much correct. Yeah, please.
Recruitment, it is just like offering everyone to come into the company and apply for that particular job. But selection is screening those people who are not fit for that particular job.
Okay. Is there any other way to explain this? Any other example, if you can think about, if you have to give a differentiation between recruitment and selection?
So like every year, Tata Steel, it offers a lot of job opportunities to youngsters. I mean, as internship opportunities, but not every single student is selected for that particular internship. So that selection is different, and then everyone can apply. That is open. That is recruiting, and then but not everyone is selected.
Okay. So when you go to the restaurant, the menu is what? It is a recruitment. All potential dishes, all kind of cuisines are available. And then today you are in the mood to have a Chinese. So you pick those 2 or 3 items of Chinese. That is called selection. Right? शादी से पहले लड़कियां देखते हैं या लड़के देखते हैं, तो वो जो पूरा देखने का प्रोसेस है, when you're seeing all potential bride or potential groom, is recruitment. Everybody will come and say वहाँ एक अच्छा लड़का है या वहाँ एक अच्छी लड़की है. That is all a process of recruiting, and then finally you pick one, good boy or good girl to be your spouse. So that one, picking up that one from the lot is a selection, right? Okay. So then there was an assignment also on the same topic. We have to make a process flow chart.
Yes,
I received only 2 answers. Only 2 of you have submitted the assignment. It is unfair. I got from Shruti, I think.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. And I got from Anamika.
Sir, I also submitted.
You also submitted? I think you submitted to sir and they did not forward anyway, so that I'll collect from him. What about others?
I also sent.
You sent, sir?
Yeah.
अच्छा, कितने लोग हैं जिसने आज भेजा है?
नहीं, कल ही भेजा था.
No, sir. Tomorrow. Yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay. So who have not sent? I'll collect from sir. If you all have sent. Anyone who was present in the last class and have not sent? ईमानदारी से बता देना. Okay. So I've received 2 of them that we will see quickly. Okay. So recruitment and selection. Then we have onboarding. Onboarding is the treatment and gesture that you show to individual on the first day of the employment. Pre-boarding is before person hiring and your offer. Okay. Then it was induction. Induction is making individual familiar with the organization. With the organization, with the people, processes, systems, and lot of things. Then we spoke about talent development. It was nothing but the learning and development area. We spoke about ADDIE model. What is ADDIE? Anyone can?
Sir, analyze, design, develop, implement, and evaluate.
Analyze, design,
develop,
Development.
implement,
and
evaluate.
Okay, fantastic. So this is the process or approach for talent development. So first is training analysis or training need identification. Then you design, develop the content, execute it, and then finally you evaluate whatever you have been teaching. Okay, so training need analysis, plan, that is about designing, then execution, then effectiveness. For this, there is a Kirkpatrick 4 level of evaluation of training effectiveness. So these are 2 core things in talent development. Now we come for the topic for the day: compensation, benefit, and employee engagement. Anyone has any question for whatever we covered till our previous session?
So can you please repeat the topic for assignment, because we have joined today only.
Right. I'll share it. I will share it.
Okay.
The assignment was what is the difference? Make a process flow chart for recruitment and selection activities. Okay.
So for recruitment and process?
Selection. Recruitment and selection process.
Okay, sir.
So you hired someone, you had an employee, your talent acquisition has been done. Okay. But then he will come only if his compensation is as per his wish. So today we talk about compensations, benefit, reward and recognition, and employee engagement. These are certain areas which are important from human resource perspective as well, and from managing human resource perspective as well. So we'll just try to cover some of the areas. of what is compensation and some of the things. So any idea about the word compensation?
Rewarding the employee for his hard work.
Oh, hard work. How do you know they work hard?
For whatever work they have done to the company.
Correct. So for their work, whether it is hard or easy, for their time spent in the organization, you're paying for that. Compensation. Okay. And benefit? Benefit matlab लाभ. तुमको ऐसे, otherwise we know. Okay. So let's have some more insight about compensation and benefits. The very first information about anything, related to compensation, whether it is cash or kind, is Neolithic revolution, which was around 10,000 before Christ to 6,000 before Christ. This was the era where some, there are evidences available where the compensation kind of things were made into existence. We also call these as a barter system. In terms of kind, ये लेके वो देना, जो अनाज पैदा कर रहा है वो सब्जी वाले से बार्टर करेगा, जो सब्जी उगा रहा है वो अनाज वाले से बार्टर करेगा, अनाज वाला कपड़े वाले से बार्टर करेगा, कपड़े वाला अनाज से बार्टर करेगा. तो इस तरह से लेन देन करके एक तरह से एक दूसरे को चीजों को कॉम्पनसेट किया जाता था. So in Neolithic revolution long back has some science about the compensation kind of things. Then from 1520, as we say that 1760 say, the Babylonian things, but पैसा परमेश्वर है और उसके पहले से चीजें चालू हो गई थी. So the commercial revolution of 1520, when things started getting traded, across places, across locations, agriculture was the main area of business. Trading was the main activity, then industrialization or manufacturing. Okay. So in 1520 to 1650, that was the time of commercial revolutions, when trade were taking place among countries or among people, among locations, and largely the civilization was based on the trading. And in that time, when people started working for someone, then there came the concept of, paying for hourly work, paying for how much you have manufactured, how much you have produced, the piece wages, or hourly wages, or daily wages. Now here, there are two words that are used when we talk about compensation. One is salary, another one is wage. So can someone tell me the difference between salary and wage?
Salary is given to office employees and wages is given to the laborers that work in factories. Or
the laborers can't get salary?
So salaries are monthly basis and wages are per day basis, daily basis.
Correct. In initial days of the revolution, industrial revolution, there was more on the production. People were hired to manufacture. People were hired to produce. And the concept was, आज आओ जितना बनाओगे उतना पैसा मिलेगा. Okay, so whether it was payment for an hour or payment for a day or payment per piece. So piece rate and wages, these were the terms which was used because it was largely the manufacturing work and it was possible to quantify. Per piece आपको 2 आना मिलेगा. So then you can quantify that. Okay, today he made 10 pieces. So 2 आना multiplied by 10 is equal to 20 आना is what he will be paid today. As the revolution, increased, as the things transformed, in industry, then when the people started getting employed, there was office work also. अभी ऑफिस में तो आप क्या कर रहे हैं कुछ क्वांटिफाई नहीं कर सकते, है ना. यू कैन नॉट क्वांटिफाई एनीथिंग कि आज मैंने 10 फाइल पे साइन किया या आज मैंने एक पेपर छापा या एक पेपर में 10 लाइन छापा. यू कैन क्वांटिफाई एनीथिंग व्हेन यू आर डूइंग a non-production work, okay, something which is not in numbers. So then it came the concept of fixed wages or the salary, that okay, for a specific time period, this is the amount that one will be given for discharging his services to the organization. And the same system is still continuing, that those who are into manufacturing, those who are working at assembly, or to whom we call the worker, they get wage because they're paid on daily basis, hourly basis, or on the piece rate basis. And those who are working in the management, those who are working in the offices, are paid salaries, which is a monthly fixed amount for all 30 days, and irrespective of their presence, irrespective of their contributions, irrespective of their availability in the premise or hard work. So these are two different words, salary and wage. Wage is for people who are directly involved in production, making goods by hand. They are paid on daily basis, they are paid on piece rate basis, and salary for people who are working in industries. And in between these two phases, the barter and the today's current compensation structure where salary and wages are being paid for your work, there was one owner-shareholder relationship also, where when those East Indian companies started their business in India, so there the composition was that there will be people working for the companies. Company may not offer them any fixed compensation, but they'll give a share in their company's profit. So owner-shareholder combination was also there in practice when we talk about the compensation. And then our today's pay structure and compensation management that came in being. Okay. So what is compensation? As we discussed, it is a sum total that is being paid or given to person working somewhere, isn't it, in an industry? So it's a total reward system, which includes salary, bonuses, incentives, commission benefits, and perks. So anything and everything that one get during the course of his or her employment is called compensation. Salary is fixed income. Compensation includes everything, including your salary and wages. Am I making sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you all are with me, right? So this we discussed. What is the difference between a salary and a wage? What is salary? A fixed remuneration, fixed income paid to someone who is working in office culture, office environment, where his contribution to the organization cannot be quantified by way of numbers. However, his or her services are required to manage the overall organizational function. So he is paid a salary. All the office bearers, they are paid salary. And those who are manufacturing, working by hand are paid wages. Wages are on a daily basis. Salary is on a monthly basis. So there is a pay period for which one is paid, and wage is on the daily basis, wherein no work, no pay. If you don't come to work, you are not paid. The same does not happen with the salary. Salary, whether you come or you don't come, if you have leave entitlements, your salary is not deducted. So you get for all 30 days. Whereas in wages, it is not possible. It is not there. In wages, you may not get the wage for the day you don't come. So they don't have weekly offs. If they don't come on Sunday, they are not paid for that Sunday. However, in the salary, it is not there. Sundays are paid, or any weekly off are paid to the office people. Okay. So that is a difference between salary and wage. Now let us talk about elements of compensation. We are talking about the compensation. पैसे के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, है ना? So what is the first element? You all can speak voluntarily. I need not speak the name every time.
Sir, base pay.
Okay, the first element is base pay. Base pay. Okay. Now, base pay is the fixed or basic pay that is paid or given to the employee for his or her contribution or services in the company. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what all things make a base pay? So, anything that is paid to you on a monthly or yearly basis is your base pay. Okay. Now, when you decide the base pay, there are different factors that are to be checked and verified for deciding the base pay. है ना? उसको कितना पगार मिलना चाहिए, तो वो कितना मिलना चाहिए to get that base pay. There are certain basic areas or elements or criteria that one needs to keep in consideration when he or she has to make or decide the base pay for the employees. Okay. Now, what these considerations are, generally when we see in existing parlance, we see the qualification, we see the experience. Okay, but when we decide the base pay for any organization, for any position, because it requires some studies of job evaluation, job analysis, and then you decide, a structure, a pay structure, or a scale or a band that, okay, this position, this is the amount that can be paid as a base pay. ना कम से कम इतना पैसा आप उसको देंगे, भाई एक मैनेजर है तो उसको इतना पैसा मिलना चाहिए. Now, what are the criteria to decide that base pay? Number one, yeah.
Competitive marketing. Number second, demographic. And third one, nature of business.
Very good, Shakti. Okay. Now, can someone say what is competitive market?
Sir, it is a market where lots of competitor of a same product is available.
Okay. Very good, Vishaka. Yaji.
So it means that in a single firm, more than two goods are being produced.
In a single firm, two goods are being produced. Okay. Okay. Any other insight? Thank you, Tanya. Yeah, Akriti.
Sir, competition between two or more product of same kind.
Competition between two or more products of same kind. Okay. In the same organization, as Tanya said.
So when two organizations produce same kind of product.
Okay. Very well said. Meghna, any insight in this? Meghna, Paran, Srishti,
Sir, it is when the competition for the satisfying the customer needs is there, so the market or other companies compete for the product.
fair enough. So competitive market is the goods what I am manufacturing. There are other people also manufacturing the same goods. What is the payment or compensation structure in those companies? That is competitive market, है ना? Specifically for the specific job roles, this is an important factor. So when I was working with the wind turbine manufacturers, it was a German multinational. The manufacturing was an highly sophisticated machine. So when I'm hiring a talent for that particular industry, I have to benchmark the salary structure of that particular industry type. That is competitive market. है ना? वहां इतने में मिल रहा है, हम सामान खरीदने जाते हैं ना, तो when we go for buying in a market, we always refer वहां इतने में मिल रहा है. So when we pay as an organization, this is a factor which one has to remember कि भाई उसको उस इंडस्ट्री में कितना मिल रहा है, या बाकी जो इंडस्ट्रीज हैं इस साइज की इस बिजनेस में इस साइज की या इस बिजनेस में उनको किस तरह का पेमेंट स्ट्रक्चर है या क्या बेस पे मिल रहा होगा. सेकंड इज डेमोग्राफी. जस्ट गिव मी अ मिनट. Yeah. So the second is demography. Now, what is demography? What does demography means?
Population.
Sorry?
Population.
Okay, population. What else?
So the changing number of births.
Changing number of?
So the particular birth and death rates in a particular community, in a particular group, or in a particular.
Okay. Birth and death rate in a particular community. Okay. What else?
Sir, either that birth or death rate is because of some kind of pandemic or any other issues.
Okay. Okay, the reason. Okay. Then what else? Yeah, Anamika, Akshita.
Population.
Population, affiliation.
Population.
Population, okay. Yeah, Akshita.
So according to me, birth rates and death rates, only birth rates and death rates are not included, but literacy rate and other rates like these are also included.
Okay. So literacy, population, then the birth and death rate. Okay. What else?
So life
Meghna?
expectancy.
Life expectancy.
According to
जिएंगे
me,
लोग?
The change in birth and death rates.
Okay. Srishti, how this birth and death rate will influence or affect the compensation? How this birth or death rate will affect or influence the compensation?
Sir, according to the time factor.
अर्थात
There are less number of people in the organization, then they have to be paid more, and if there are more, then they have to be paid less.
no, that is an economic theory.
Sir, population will affect economic.
Right. Okay. No, but the death and birth rate, how it will help in the compensation? Population is okay. Population will impact the economy. But when I have to decide a compensation, when I'm talking about the base pay, so what are the factors of demography that will be important? So population can be one factor. Yes, number of people working in the organization, perhaps. That is what you mean by population. So as I said, अभी हम जैसे बात करते हैं competitive market. So that is about industry type. When we say demography, to pick up or choose the base pay, the area in which my organization exists, my company works, what is the general compensation in that area? So when we say demography, it is about people, caste, creed, race, and in that region, how people are being compensated. You have heard of the term cost of living? सुना है ना? बैंगलोर में कॉस्ट ऑफ लिविंग बहुत हाई है.
Yes, sir.
Now everywhere people eat the same vegetable. Everywhere people eat the same roti, same atta. But the cost of living is high at certain places. Cost of living is moderate at certain places. Cost of living is low at rural areas. So this is what this difference is because of the demographics or the availability of the resources. So where your industry is, वहाँ population में, is it male dominant, female dominant? What is the culture of that region? What is the qualification of that area? How people are qualified. So all these things will also contribute in deciding the base pay. All right. So a plant at Bangalore will have higher compensation structure compared to a plant here in some remote village of any other state, because the demography does not demand too much of compensation. They just need an employment. Okay, so base pay can be decided that way. So different companies operating at different locations have different compensation structure for the same position. So that is demography. And then the nature of business. आप किस तरह का काम कर रहे हैं? Is it highly critical? Is it something which is exclusive? Or it is something which is common? Everybody is doing the same business. I am also doing the same business. So people are available. There is a threat of abundance. बहुत ज़्यादा लोग available है उस skill के. Then I will not design a structure which is highly paid, क्योंकि मुझे पता ये जाएगा तो दूसरा मिलेगा. But if the nature of business is very critical, if the nature of business is exclusive, then your compensation structure will be comparatively higher or different compared to those normal compensation structures. Okay, so these are the factors which are important and relevant when we decide the base pay. Then what is the second element?
Variable pay.
variable pay. Alice?
Yes, sir.
So, any idea about variable pay?
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So can the cultural factors affect the compensation?
It can and it does.
Sir, how?
Why this question came to your mind?
So because you were talking about the people, the caste, the religions, and that's why I asked this question. So
Now,
culture to come.
yeah. Assume a process which is labor intensive. You need a lot of people to work. Okay. Your plant in such a place where you have very less male employees. है ना, एक ऐसे एरिया में जहाँ जो घर का पुरुष है उसको इंडस्ट्री में जाना पसंद नहीं है. Perhaps he is more engaged in agriculture, and the lady of the house goes to work.
Yes, sir.
So in that case, the compensation will be comparatively less because female will not be demanding. Or a culture where you need female worker, but the culture does not allow.
Yes,
That
sir.
the lady of the house should go and work, and then you hire talent from some other place, you will be definitely paying more.
Yes, sir.
So it does affect on your compensation culture. Okay, so now we are about the variable pay. Yes, I think we were talking with Alice. You're saying something?
Sir, variable pay is like the which goes beyond the basic pay.
Okay.
Like incentive or additional payment, bonus or something.
Okay. Fair enough. Baron?
Yes, like remuneration for the overwork, overtime.
Sorry, come again. Remuneration over?
For sir, overtime. When a person does overtime, they get extra wages.
Okay. Okay. Overtime is not a variable pay.
Okay.
Overtime is not a variable pay. Yeah, Vishakha?
Sir, variable pay is a portion of a compensation which is given according to the employee's performance.
Correct. So this is a new trend when we talk about compensation. So there is fixed pay कि ठीक है आपको इतना पैसा हर महीने का एज ए सैलरी मिलेगा. And then there is a star, ना condition apply. आपको 5 लाख रुपए एक्स्ट्रा मिलेगा अगर 1 2 3 4 if you do this you'll get over and above your salary. Your fixed basic pay के साथ में आपको ये amount additional मिलेगा. So that is variable pay which will vary, which will keep on changing year to year, quarter to quarter, month on month, whatever may be the policy of the organization. You may get whatever has been mentioned in the variable pay, you may not get, or you may exceed that. Okay, so variable pay is a performance-based payment. It's a performance-based compensation, which is based on certain criteria. That can be your own performance, that can be overall performance of the organization, that can be your own retention, that can be on your longevity with the organization. So there are various factors under consideration for the variable pay, and this is a very latent concept when we design the compensation. And in certain companies, in certain organizations, the percentage of variable pay ranges from 25% to 50% as well. So the focus is more on the performance rather than your longevity. आप कितने साल से काम कर रहे हैं शायद वो इतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, बट आप जितना टाइम भी यहाँ काम कर रहे हैं उसमें आप कितना कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं, एंड योर एफर्ट्स आर बीइंग रिकॉग्नाइज्ड एंड रिवॉर्डेड, राइट? सो दैट इज वेरिएबल पे. एंड द थर्ड is ESOPs, that is employee stock option pay. तो कुछ पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग्स जो हैं, PSUs जो हैं, वहां अगर उनकी कंपनी लिस्टेड है, even if it is non PSU but a listed organizations, so there the share of that company are also the part of the compensation plan, right? So these are certain elements of compensation: the basic pay, the variable pay, and ESOPs. Now, what are the components and everything? We will learn gradually, even in today's session. So this was about compensation, which was in terms of cash, not in terms of kind. This was in terms of cash. आपको पैसा मिलेगा, चाहे वो फिक्स हो या वेरिएबल हो, but this is what is being paid to you. That is compensation. Now we comes to benefits. Benefits are लाभ, है ना, या सुविधाएं, isn't it? So what are the different benefits that you may get during the course of the employment?
Health,
Right.
retirement,
Right.
training,
Right.
and
Fringe.
fringe.
Okay. So these are the benefits. When we talk about benefits, they may not be in the cash. They are in kinds. Okay. But are the part of overall compensation and benefit structure of the organization, because this also has the cost involved. Okay. So there are certain expenses which company bears on behalf of the employees. So such benefits are health benefits, where there are annual medical checkup. We call them as welfare facilities as well. Health insurance of employee family, or the parents, and even the term plans, that if someone expires during the course of employment, the family will get some lump sum amount. हम generally medical term plans लेते हैं ना individually, तो उस तरह से कंपनियां भी इस प्रकार के benefits employees को pass on करती हैं. So that also becomes a part of the compensation structure. Then retirement benefits. Retirement benefits is anything that you offer to the employee post retirement. There may be certain retirement plans in PSUs or government undertakings or big organizations. They have their own retirement fund. Okay, or the gratuity which is maintained by them, it is being paid to the employees as a part of the pension at the end after the retirement. Certain companies, they give retirement, post-retirement medical benefits also, or the stock options. मतलब company का shareware है, they also give it to employees at the time of retirement. The company may think of giving them 10 shares or 20 shares or whatever it is, as a goodwill gesture or as a part of the benefit plans. Okay. Then training the employees. Training is also a benefit. Of course, it benefits to the organization also, but it is a benefit to the employee as well. So MDP is Management Development Plan and EDP is Executive Development Plan. So people at different level are trained on different things, on different aspects at different levels. Okay. The company will sponsor those entire training expenditures, and the employee may go to IIT, IIM or such institutes to learn certain new things, new competencies. Sabbaticals, these are the break in the employment for further studies where your job continues, and at times company sponsors also. Study leave and loan, these are also the part of benefit. Fringe benefit are the benefit which are paid to the employee or the family by way of cash or kind. आपके पास गाड़ी है, कंपनी ड्राइवर देती है, उसका पैसा कंपनी देगी. There are reimbursements. You are I'm sorry, you are using a vehicle, all the fuel and maintenances are on the company, so these are reimbursement. Okay, certain expenses which you are making or you are incurring, and company is reimbursing I'm sorry, on production of necessary or relevant documents. So these are the benefit, compensation and benefits. Am I clear? Any question? Paresh sir can add certain, few more elements and benefits if they are getting anything over and above what I mentioned here.
I think it covers all benefits.
Right. Like some companies, they have their own townships. Some companies will have their own, transportation facilities. So all these also part of the benefits. Now an important question is, why you should have this compensation and benefit plans? Why you should have a structured C and B? कोई भी आया उसको कितना भी पैसा दे सकते हैं ना हम, सेठ का मर्जी है. मेरे को पसंद आ गया, मैं उसको ज्यादा पैसा दे दूं. दूसरा बंदा मुझे पसंद नहीं है, उसको कम पैसा दे दूं. So what are the objectives? Why an organization should have a compensation and benefit plan? There are certain reasons which are very simple and inclusive. First is equity. Equity मतलब as such कोई general bias नहीं होना चाहिए. एक ही डिपार्टमेंट में एक ही जैसे दो लोग काम कर रहे हैं और दोनों का सैलरी में बहुत फर्क है. This is inequality. Okay. Or an engineer, a BTech electrical male and BTech electrical female. So male has more salary, female has a less salary. So gender discrimination, place discrimination, race discrimination. So to avoid all these things and pay for work, to ensure that there should remain this harmony, you have a compensation benefit plan. Your salary may vary by few, rupees, but generally it will remain in that band. An organization that they strive to bring this inequality as narrow as possible over a period of time. So in the evaluation period of the organization, there may be certain salary bands, certain structures, but gradually, they bridge this gap and try to, neutralize, try to bring all these inequalities as less as possible, so that everybody in the organization in a band or in a level are paid almost equally. So all managers, they have a similar kind of pay structure, similar kind of salary, similar kind of components. ऐसा नहीं कि एक को गाड़ी दिया दूसरे को नहीं दिया. No. If a manager is entitled for a vehicle, all managers are entitled for the vehicle. If a manager is entitled for the reimbursement, all the managers are entitled for the reimbursement. If an executive is entitled for the loan, every executive is entitled for the loan. So to keep this equity, you should have a compensation and business benefit plan. Second, as the concept of variable wage came in, the another objective was efficiency. So your compensation and benefit is linked with productivity and skill sets. The more skillful, the more competent you are, the better is your compensation structure. But it is all documented and defined. So anyone who joined as a diploma, graduated during the course of employment, should get necessary benefit. Maybe a change in grade, maybe a change in salary structure, Okay, maybe a revision in existing grade. So all these things are important, and therefore we should have a compensation and benefit plan. Then third thing is expense moderations. Expense moderation means managing the expenses that are being incurred on the salary and wages, just to avoid unnecessary liabilities. आप किसी को भी ले लेंगे, किसी भी स्केल पे ले लेंगे, किसी भी वेज में ले लेंगे, and then you have the other liabilities also. There are statutory obligations which organization has towards employee, and then all those benefits which we spoke just now, medical benefits, your insurance, term plans, all the other liabilities. So just to ensure that all these liabilities are not increasing unnecessary and it is being fair with each and every grade of employee, a well-planned, well-structured compensation and benefit policy will always help. It also helps in employee motivation, recognitions, and everything. Then a proper structure, a proper compensation benefit plan will help in taxation and accounting for managing all those expenses, taxes that is being paid to the government on different heads. Cash flow management. If you have a structured compensation and benefit plan, you know how much amount you will have to pay or what would be the expense that would be incurred in the coming month or coming days as far as wage and salaries are concerned, and accordingly you manage those cash flow. अगर ये सब कुछ स्ट्रक्चर है तो पता चलेगा अगले महीने इतना खर्चा आने वाला है. अगर पता ही नहीं किसको कितना पगार दे रहे हैं, किसको कितना देना चाहिए, नया बंदा आएगा तो उसको कितना पैसा मिलेगा, if we are not sure with any of this, it will be very difficult for the companies to manage the cash. There is a fixed cost, there is a variable cost. Salary is a fixed cost. Irrespective of business, you will have to pay this. So then the cash flow management is important. If you know how much compensation is to be given in the coming month, कोई नया एम्प्लॉय ज्वाइन होने वाला है, किसने छोड़ दिया है, किसी का फुल एंड फाइनल करना है, किसी को इंक्रीमेंट देना है, किसी का सैलरी करेक्शन है. So all these things, if are not documented properly, the cash flow management becomes a bit difficult. There is a word called leave pay. This I'll share in the coming slide. Okay, this is about, this is not directly with the compensation. A part of compensation, in one of my organization where I work, they had this concept of leave pay. Okay, a wonderful thing. There, every employee was entitled for 21 paid leaves in a year. So every year you will get 21 paid leaves. आपको साल में 21 छुट्टी मिलेगा जिसका पैसा कट नहीं होगा. Okay. And then there was a concept of leave pay that there are 30 days salary, that is 1 month salary over and above your entire year's compensation will be paid to you if you will not take any additional leave over and above this 21. If you take another leave over and above the 21, means for your 22nd leave, either it can be a leave without pay as an employee's choice, or 1 day would be reduced from this 30 days leave pay. So at the end of the year, at the end of the financial year, if you have availed any leave over and above your allotted leave would be deducted from these 30 days, and for remaining days you will be paid. So 12 महीने काम करेंगे और अगर आप एक भी छुट्टी नहीं लिया है तो आपको 13 महीने का पगार मिलेगा. So every March you will get 2 months salary. That is the concept of leave pay. It was there in one of the organization, and a wonderful thing. So though you do not get that amount every month, but you get a lump sum amount at the end of the financial year. Now this has two benefits. One, employee get lump sum, so he can plan. For organization, it is a policy which is a benefit policy. and they are not required to pay this amount on monthly basis. So this is their planning. This is a benefit to the employee, and psychological also. The employee feels that I am taking the leave for which my wage or salary is not getting deducted. So even if I am taking an additional leave, my monthly income is not getting disturbed, and I am getting the amount. I'm getting the same amount every month. Only thing is I may get a leave pay little less. So that is a loss in the profit. तो जो नफे में नुकसान है ओवरऑल मुझे कोई नुकसान नहीं है. So this is part of your compensation and benefit plan. So organizations can have such policies, such systems where it has multiple benefits. It has retention benefit. आप छोड़ के नहीं जाएंगे क्योंकि आपको पता है कि यार मैं छोड़ दूंगा तो मुझे पैसा नहीं मिलेगा. The company thinks that instead of paying it on monthly, the liabilities, I'll pay once a month, once in a year. So I'll be able to manage the cash flow. So all these are the benefits, and all these are the necessities which are required when we design the compensation and benefit plans. Yeah. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Now there are certain economic theories about deciding on the wages. Today in industry 4.0, the concept is minimum wage.
I have one question.
Sir.
Is benefits and compensation pay, is it a standard structure or it depends on company to company?
It depends on company to company.
Okay.
So like as you are in a chemical sector, sir. So in chemical sector, the structure would be something different compared to pharma, compared to engineering. So in the specific sector, the structure may be similar. Then on the hierarchy, on the gradation, certain elements or components can be added or removed in the basic components compensation structure.
Okay.
So there are certain theories about the wage finalization. As I said, today we talk about the minimum wage. Every state has a fixed minimum wage or fixed daily wage below which a company cannot pay to an employee. Okay. When we say employee, it includes everyone in the industry, whether it is a contractual worker, whether it is a company's worker, whether it is staff, you, me, anyone. So there is a concept of minimum wage today, and in different state, the value or amount varies. In Gujarat, currently the minimum wage, as per the skill level, it is 320 rupees to 345 rupees. I mean, plus minus 342 rupees. Is the wage per day. So if you are employing someone, the amount pay per day cannot be less than 342 rupees. That is the minimum wage theory. That is the current practice industries are adopting or following. But this has, there were a lot of debate, discussion, and a lot of theories were there. There was a subsistence theory. So David Ricardo in the early years said iron law of wages. He said that wages cannot fall below the subsistence level. मतलब इससे कम नहीं होना चाहिए. ये अमाउंट से नीचे जाएगा तो आदमी सर्वाइव नहीं कर पाएगा. तो दाल रोटी खाने के लिए जो कम से कम अमाउंट चाहिए, that is subsistence level. इससे नीचे अगर आप देंगे तो कोई भी सर्वाइव नहीं कर पाएगा और उसका सारा ध्यान सर्वाइवल में रहेगा. लेकिन अगर आप इससे बहुत ज्यादा ऊपर देने लगेंगे तो बहुत सारे लोग अपना काम जोड़ के इंडस्ट्री की ओर डाइवर्ट हो जाएंगे, जिससे दोनों सेक्टर में फर्क पड़ेगा. सो यू शुड पे the bare minimum, the subsistence allowance, the subsistence amount, which is bare minimum necessary for an individual to survive. Then there came the wage fund theory, where Smith says that fixed fund of capital to pay wages. So आपके पास में जितना पैसा है और जितना लेबर फोर्स है, उसको आपस में आप सब्सट्रैक्ट करेंगे, आई मीन डिवाइड करेंगे, तो जो अमाउंट आएगा दैट वुड बी द रेट ऑफ द वेज. नाउ दिस में वेरी डे टू डे, month to month, year to year, place to place, but the wage rate would be based on the available fund with the industry and the total number of employees working. Now here demand and supply would get a severe effect. अगर ज्यादा लोग आ गए तो मुझे कम पैसा मिलेगा. I would prefer people should not come. ज्यादा लोग नहीं आना चाहिए. There are conflicts. If there are less people, company will think that though I'm saving on the wage, but I am losing the production. Then surplus value theory. So Karl Marx, he said that employee are the article of commerce. मतलब जैसा बाकी कमोडिटी है ऐसा लोग भी हैं. तो आप उसको एक बेयर मिनिमम कीमत पे खरीद सकते हैं. आपको जब जरूरत है, जहां जरूरत है, आप उसको बेयर मिनिमम कीमत पे खरीद सकते हैं. अच्छा, दिस थिंग इज आल्सो प्रैक्टिस टुडे इन अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड सेक्टर. ये सरप्लस वैल्यू थ्योरी जैसा आदमी कमोडिटी है और आप उसको सब्सिस्टेंस लेवल पे खरीद सकते हैं, ये अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड सेक्टर में आपको देखने को मिलेगा अभी भी. कोई बता सकता है कहां कहां देखा हो किसी ने?
I think construction field.
Construction field, very right. कंस्ट्रक्शन अनऑर्गेनाइज स्ट्रक्चर ना, वहां ऐसा कोई कॉम्पनसेशन सैलरी वगैरह नहीं है, तो वहां आपको आदमी चाहिए तो आप उसको पकड़ के ला सकते हैं. नाउ इट बिकम ए स्किलफुल जॉब. देन आपके घर के आगे साफ सफाई करने वाला मजदूर. इन द सिटीज देयर आर एरियाज वेयर सुबह सुबह अगर आप जाओगे, यू विल फाइंड लॉट ऑफ पीपल देयर अवेलेबल फॉर द वर्क, है ना, देयर फॉर डेली वेजेस. Now you have some construction going on at your home. You need 2 laborers. You will not hire them. You will not pay them any compensation. But you'll go to that place, pick 2 people, give him the subsistence allowance, or give him the amount negotiated between you and him, which is bare minimum for him. And you also think that this is the amount that one should be paid for. And you bring those 2 people, get your work done, and then in the evening, neither you are an employer nor they are an employee. Yeah. So this is surplus value theory of Karl Marx, that you can buy employee like a commodity at the price which is subsistence. And then the Davidson came with the bargaining theory, where the wages were determined by the negotiation. When the trade union and all came in picture, then the wages were decided by negotiations. भाई इतना मिलना चाहिए, ये काम है, इतना मिलेगा तो ही करेंगे. And then from all these jugglings, today we are on the minimum wage concept, where government has decided that for this particular area or in this particular state, for this particular kind of work, a semi-skilled, skilled and unskilled people would be paid X, Y, and Z amount as a daily wage. Okay. And this daily wage, this amount gets revised every 6 months. So April and October, there are 2 revisions in this dearness allowance on this minimum wages. तो जो inflation है, जो महंगाई है, उसके हिसाब से हर 6 महीने पे ये रिवाइज होता रहता है. So every 6 months, people have a revision in their minimum wages. Okay, I'm not talking about salary, but I'm talking about wages. But in all cases, even if the salary, it should not be less than the minimum wage. So if I'm saying 342 rupees per day, then 342 multiplied by 30 is the minimum monthly earning, for a staff office person, or 342 multiplied by 26 is the minimum earning for a wage earner. Okay. Now we come on the concept of CTC. What are the components of a salary? And the taxation part of it. So your salary has different components as per your grade, hierarchy, company practices, and other factors. There can be different components in your salary. And the term today the companies or organizations are using is CTC. CTC stands for cost to company. CTC stands for cost to company. कंपनी को कितना पैसा खर्चा करना पड़ रहा है टोटल किसी भी एम्प्लॉय को हायर करने के बाद, that is cost to company. So companies will add anything and everything that is being spent after an employee in cost to company, and the negotiation of salary also is based on CTC, not on the fixed pay, not on the variable pay, but everything inclusive is the total amount that company will be spending after you. Okay, so this is CTC. Now, what are the components of salary? There's a basic pay. Then there are allowances. So HRA, medical, transportation, city compensation allowance, and telephone allowances are few allowances. The list can be even smaller and bigger. So there is a fixed pay, basic pay. Then there are allowances. Then there can be reimbursements. Reimbursement is the expenses first incurred by the employee and then paid back by the company. So you have a vehicle and you are reimbursed the fuel expenses. So first you spend, get the vehicle fueled, submit the bill, and the company will pay you. Company will reimburse those expenses incurred by you. So fuel expenses, driver expenses, travel and out-of-pocket expenses. These are certain expenses which are the reimbursement. Okay, first you spend, and as per your category and the policy, company will reimburse those expenses. There are certain components which are paid annually, like bonus and leave travel allowance. Some companies, they give leave travel allowance on monthly basis. Some companies, they give on annual basis. There are retirement components, which is provident fund, gratuity, and leave encashment. Leave encashment is आपको कंपनी को छुट्टियां देती है, अगर आपने वो छुट्टियां अवेल नहीं की हैं तो उसका पैसा मिलता है. So that is leave encashment. Then overtime. Overtime is what? It is pay for extra hours. अगर आपका 8 घंटे का ड्यूटी है, for some reason, if you have worked for 10 hours or 12 hours, so for remaining 4 hours, company will pay you in cash. It is overtime. Then incentives and variable pays. So there are certain commissions, there are certain incentives and variable pays. They are also the part of your CTC or salary structure, and the loyalty and retention incentives as well. अगर आप 5 साल काम करेंगे तो कंपनी आपको 5 लाख रुपया एडिशनल इंसेंटिव देगी. So all these are the part of your CTC or your salary structure. So ये सारे component हो सकते हैं, इसमें से और ज्यादा हो सकते हैं, इसमें से कम भी हो सकते हैं. So based on grade, based on locality, based on demography, all these things can be included or excluded in your salary structure. Now, when you define a salary structure, when you define the CTC, the another aspect or area of consideration is the tax liabilities which an employee has to bear. TDS, sorry, the tax deducted at sources. So we all might have heard during the budget session that income tax slabs are revised or not revised. सुना है ना? Or the word income tax or the term income tax you all have heard about?
Yes, sir.
Right. So it is a tax on your income. So when the structure is decided, there are certain components which are non-taxable. कुछ चीजें ऐसी हैं जिसको टैक्स नहीं लगता है, कुछ चीजें ऐसी हैं जिसमें टैक्स बचता नहीं है, आपको देना ही पड़ेगा. So the structure is decided in such a way that employee has minimum tax liabilities based on the income. So certain components can be taxable, certain can be non-taxable. All these things we will study when we will be discussing CNB in detail. As of now, we need to just understand that there can be components which are taxable and there are components which are exempted. Okay. So this was about compensation and benefit. Now, when there is a paisa, the paisa can be in terms of rewards also. Okay, it is not that you are paid fixed amount, but based on your contribution, based on your efforts, based on your performance, companies sometimes think that let us recognize this employee, or let us reward him for his extraordinary performance. This is over and above your fixed variable pay and everything. तो इंसेंटिव और वो सब जो कुछ लिखा है आपके सैलरी स्ट्रक्चर में, उसके अलावा अगर आप कुछ अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं तो उसको उसको रिकॉग्नाइज करने के लिए द कंपनी में हैव अ रिवॉर्ड एंड रिकॉग्निशन policy or framework. So reward and recognition is a system where people are acknowledged for their performance in intrinsic or extrinsic ways. जैसे अभी अपने बहुत सारे एथलीट ओलंपिक से जीत के आए है ना, lot of them we got so many medals, 13 medals in Olympic and around 42 in Paralympics. So they outperformed in that competitive environment. So when they came back with their medals, so many states, state government, or PSUs or big industries, they showered lot of rewards to them to recognize their efforts. So किसी ने कैश दिया, किसी ने 2 करोड़ रुपया दे दिया, किसी ने बोल दिया भाई साल भर आप हमारी हवाई जहाज में फ्री में यात्रा कर सकते हैं, कोई बोला आप मेरे रेस्टोरेंट में फ्री में खाना खा सकते हैं, डोमिनोज वाला ने बोला मीरा भाई चानू को आप जिंदगी भर पिज्जा खाओ, हम आपसे पैसा नहीं लेंगे. So all these are the rewards and recognitions. This is for the effort made by an individual in a specific area or contribution made by an individual in the organization which was perhaps beyond the scope of his work. वो उसके पाम में नहीं आता था, उसके परव्यू में नहीं आता था, उसके आगे जाके उसने किया. So those are the reward and recognition. Then another term is employee engagement. The engagement is what? Anyone can tell what is engagement? The reward and recognition तो हमको समझ में आता है, word are self-explanatory. But what is engagement?
So keeping the employee busy.
Keeping the employee busy. Employee can remain busy doing nothing.
So conducting some sessions to talk to them, to solve their problems, and some interactive sessions.
Okay, so you're talking about employee interactions or a kind of grievance redressal. Okay. Anything else?
Sir, to go somewhere and do something like a work at a fixed time of period, and from that we earn something in as a compensation.
Okay. So it is out of office, some kind of social work you're talking about? Okay, anyone else? अच्छा, आप लोग कॉलेज जाते हो?
Yes, sir.
No, sir. Graduation.
No, sir.
No, कौन नो वाला है? इतना दुखी?
Because
So फिर I
Online classes.
college.
Okay. तो अब पेंडेमिक्स के पहले जब कॉलेज चालू थे या स्कूल चालू थे तो हम रेगुलर जाते थे ना? अच्छा, मन से जाते थे कि जबरदस्ती जाते थे?
सर दोनों तरीके से.
Yes, sir.
दोनों तरीके से। अच्छा, जिस दिन होमवर्क दिया करके नहीं गए उस दिन जबरदस्ती जाना है, बाकी दिन मन से जाना है। अच्छा, क्या ज्यादा मजा आता है, पिक्चर देखने जाना हो तो या स्कूल जाना हो तो?
It depends.
Depends on whom.
Topic. Both.
So people, depends upon the people.
अच्छा, किसके साथ
जिनके
मूवी जा रहे
साथ
हो, कौन आपको पिक्चर दिखाएगा, उस पर डिपेंड करता है।
तो स्कूल में फ्रेंड्स आएंगे तो जाएंगे, नहीं आएंगे तो हम भी नहीं जाएंगे। So depends upon.
Now this is what is engagement is. Engagement is you go to the office, perform your duties with all the zeal and enthusiasm. You are not going there to earn. इतने पैसे में इतना ही काम होगा साहब. So that is not engagement. So employee engagement is an employee's overall enthusiasm to perform the duties allotted to him and speaking good about the organization as a brand ambassador. That is the employee engagement. रोज जाना आना ठीक है, उसका आपको पैसा मिल रहा है, बट जब आप मन से काम करते हो, when you are into it, then it is engagement and it has its own effects. Gallups का ऐसा कहना है कि engaged employees are those employees who are involved in, enthusiastic about and committed to their work and workplace. जिनको सुबह ऑफिस जाने का घंटाला नहीं आता है, ऑफिस जाके वो टाइम पास नहीं करते हैं, and they feel happy going to their workplace and doing their work, are engaged employees. The purpose of reward and recognition and engagement, the effect of reward and recognition and engagement is to increase the productivity, is to making employees sensitive towards their work and ensuring that everybody is working with a good intention. People are motivated, people are engaged, and then there are different policies and frameworks available to ensure a proper reward and recognition is being done, and there are activities that are taking place as a part of employee engagement. Now, आपके क्लास में कुछ होशियार बच्चे हैं, आप जैसे इंटेलिजेंट, दे आर अटेंटिव. अच्छा, कुछ बच्चे ऐसे होंगे, दे आर वेरी नोटोरियस, शैतानी खुराबात, पीछे से बैठ के चौक मारना, बट दे कम टू द क्लास, अटेंड. और कुछ एकदम उद्दंड विद्यार्थी, certain students, they neither come to the class nor they peacefully allow the teacher and professor to teach also. तो पढ़ते भी नहीं है, आपको भी नहीं पढ़ने देते, और स्कूल के पूरे वातावरण को बिगाड़ के रखते हैं ना. दिन भर शैतानी, दिन भर कंप्लेंट, इसको मारा, उससे लड़ाई झगड़ा, इसके कपड़े फाड़ दिए, उधर गाली गलौज. So all these things, it's happening, it happens. पता नहीं ऐसा?
Yes, sir.
So these are the three kind of employees also. So there are people who are thoroughly engaged in the organization. वो आते हैं, हंसी खुशी से काम करते हैं, मजे से काम करते हैं, प्रोडक्टिविटी है, सब कुछ है, and they ensure that everybody around them is also involved and engaged in all these activities. So that is an engaged employee. He has a passion, he has the zeal, he has the enthusiasm उसको सब कुछ करना अच्छा लगता है और वो मन से करेगा, उसको बार बार कहने का टोकने का जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा. Voluntarily he will participate in the activities, events, everywhere he will be seen. He or she will be available or can be seen. So that is engaged employee. The second is not engaged employee. वो शैतान बच्चे जो क्लास में पीछे बैठे आते तो हैं लेकिन उनका कंट्रीब्यूशन बहुत कम, और आप जो कर रहे हैं उसमें भी वो विघ्न करेंगे. एंड थर्ड इज एक्टिवली डिसएंगेज. ये वो लोग हैं जो बाहर ग्राउंड में हैं, ना खुद पढ़ रहे हैं, ना आपको पढ़ने दे रहे हैं, ना आपके प्रोफेसर को क्लास में घुसने देते हैं, और इधर उधर जो कुछ चल रहा है उसमें भी अपना टांग अड़ा के उसको खराब करते हैं. सो दीज आर द एक्टिवली डिसएंगेज्ड एम्प्लॉइज. और ये हर तरह के एम्प्लॉय अपने को अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में मिलेंगे. तो जरूरी है कि जो एक्टिवली डिसएंगेज्ड हैं उनको या तो एंगेज करें या फिर उनको वहां से अलग करें, so that the nuisance is reduced. They are unhappy at work. They are busy acting out their unhappiness. Every day these workers undermine what their engaged co-workers accomplish. आप कुछ अच्छा भी कर रहे हैं तो भी इनको मजा नहीं आएगा. They have their own reasons to criticize. What are the factors that that drives the engagement in an organization? तो दोनों चीजें हैं, कंपनी के खुद के भी और मैनेजमेंट के भी ऐसे कार्यकलाप हैं. देयर आर इनिशिएटिव्स एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन लेवल एंड एट द मैनेजमेंट लेवल दैट ड्राइव्स द एंगेजमेंट लेवल ऑफ द एम्प्लॉई. आपको स्कूल में जाने का मन करे, आपको क्लास में जाने का मन करे, उसके लिए स्कूल या कॉलेज क्या करता है? दे विल प्रेफर टू हैव गुड फैकल्टीज who will teach well, who has the knowledge. They will also have a lot of extracurricular activities so that you remain connected with the school. They will involve you in a lot of school related activities. They'll ask you for many extracurricular activities, state level, district level, sports events, and a lot of things they will ask you to engage yourself with. So similarly in the organization, the management tries similar things to increase the engagement of the people so that the environment of the organization is harmonious and the productivity is upbeat. Okay, so they'll see that the people in the leadership positions are good, so that the people working with them are also happy and engaged. They have good relationship, peer and subordinate relationship अच्छा है, काम करने के लिए जो भी औजार हथियार चाहिए सब कुछ है, वर्क प्लेस अच्छा है, उनकी चीजों का ध्यान रखते हैं. All these things are the drivers that drive the engagement level of the employees in the organization. है ना? So employee have authority necessary to accomplish their job well. बार बार पूछना नहीं पड़े लोगों से, बार बार अप्रूवल नहीं लेना पड़े. All these things will keep an employee engaged. है ना? So it is, all these things will keep you motivated. When you are motivated, you are engaged in the activities that you do. जो हमको पसंद है ना, जो काम हमको पसंद है उसको हम ज्यादा अच्छी तरह से करते हैं. जो हमको पसंद नहीं है उसको हम जबरदस्ती करते हैं, और जब जबरदस्ती करते हैं तो उसका रिजल्ट हमको उतना अच्छा नहीं मिलता है. Many of you are बहुत आप में से बहुत लोगों को your mother might be asking you to cook food. You should learn. Being the lady, being a female, you should learn cooking. Some of you would be interested, to cook, to experiment, to try. So those who have the interest, they will remain more engaged. So when you will be cooking, you will be experimenting, and you will ensuring that the dish is delicious. It is garnished well. उसको ठीक से present किया है. But if it is not your interest, and by force you are asked to prepare, आज मेरी तबीयत ठीक नहीं है, and you prepare the food, the item that you will prepare will be Maggi. 2 minutes में ready. We see for the quick fix. So this is about the engagement. If I'm motivated, I'll be engaged. When I'm engaged, I'll be doing or performing much better. Person sitting at a leadership position, though he is not from the HR, he must understand and evaluate his people's engagement level. मेरे साथ जो लोग काम कर रहे हैं उसमें से कितने लोग ऐसे हैं जो मन से कर रहे हैं, कितने लोग ऐसे हैं जो जबरदस्ती कर रहे हैं, और उनको अगर हमको चेंज करना है, कन्वर्ट करना है, तो हम क्या और कैसे कर सकते हैं. So there are various drivers that will help increasing the engagement level to some extent. What is HR is supposed to do in this entire process? HR will see that there is a job enrichment. आप जो काम कर रहे हैं वो काम चैलेंजिंग है, उसका पैसा बराबर मिल रहा है, उसमें चेंज है, मोनोटोनी नहीं है, आपके एबिलिटी के साथ मैच करता है, आपको ग्रोथ दिला सकता है. So all these things comes to the HR's purview. The HR will ensure that you are trained properly, you are developed for the next role, you are paid appropriately, you are paid according to the work that you are doing, or about the people with whom you are working. Your career growth is mapped. ये है 5 साल में आप यहाँ पहुंच जाएंगे, 10 साल में आप यहाँ पहुंच सकते हैं, आप ये स्किल ऐड कर सकते हैं, and everything. And then the performance management, that year on year how you are doing, what is your own performance, how you are working, how you are evolving, how you are growing, and what are the criteria to measure your performance. So that is an HR's role to ensure that there are the engagement level of individual or employee is increasing gradually. It will not increase exponentially, it will increase gradually. चीजें हमको धीमे-धीमे पसंद आनी शुरू होती है. Now for motivation, this is one theory, Maslow's need hierarchy theory, a very well-known theory, which talks about employee motivation. At different level, different things motivates us, है ना? जिंदगी के अलग-अलग पड़ाव पे हमको अलग-अलग चीजों से motivation मिलता है. In the early days, the requirement or the need is roti kapda makan. It is physiological need, right? That is a basic need in the early days. यार इतना पैसा मिल जाए कि अपना खाना हो जाए, गुजरात चल जाए. So that is a physiological need. So people working at that level, if you ensure that their physiological needs are met, they'll be happy and motivated. They'll be able to contribute well. Then comes the security needs. Security is financial security, social security. So that is the second level of motivation. So after certain years of working, you see my medical is being taken care of by the company. There's a term insurance which company is taking care of me. So I'm safe inside the environment, I'm safe outside the environment, my family is being taken care, the vacation is given. So that is a safety need. So that will motivate. You will keep for the employment options where all such things are being offered. Then belongingness and love. So then it comes the next stage where you are not much concerned about safety, security, and roti kapda makan, because that needs have been met, fulfilled. You have grown up. Okay. And then you see that there are people around you who are your well-wishers, who are helping you, supporting you, both professionally and personally. That is psychological need. Then it comes, एक स्टेज ऐसा आएगा जहाँ पे पैसा जरूरी नहीं है, बट पोजीशन जरूरी है. इज्जत मिलनी चाहिए. पैसा तो मिल रहा है, बट देन आई नीड ए पोजीशन. 1 करोड़ का सैलरी और आप प्यून हो, you are a peon and you are paid 1 crore salary. So your basic needs have been met, but your esteem needs or the psychological need is not met. Though I am earning money, but I am not getting those prestige, those fame. And the fifth is self-actualization. सब हो गया जिंदगी में, सब कर लिया, बस अब कुछ नहीं करना है, संतोष है. What I am having is sufficient. So that is the last self-actualization mode. And according to this, if you are supplying all these inputs to the people, to your team, their the level of motivation or level of engagement can be met to a great extent. So Maslow's need hierarchy theory, this is something which you also go through later on after this session. So this will help in compensation also, this will help in engagement also, this will help in motivation also. All right.
Yes, sir.
And finally, some of the examples which we talk about employee engagement or reward and recognition. So there are bonus. This can be cash on the spot, annual or periodical. There can be appreciations. It can be on the spot appreciation. है ना, कभी कभी आपको आपके मम्मी पापा बोलते हैं ना, शाबाश, very good. You tried some new dish in the kitchen. Okay, you served it to your parents, you serve it to your friends, and they start appreciating. Oh, well done, बहुत अच्छा बनाया. Though it was a simple dish, but you made it so delicious. Or it was for the first time you were trying, and it has come up very well. So that is the on the spot appreciation, and that encourages you to do it again, to do it more, to do it better next time. So that is the appreciation that we are talking about, right? So it can be written, it can be verbal. आप उसको एक certificate मिलता है, आप कुछ अच्छा काम करते हैं, you are given a certificate. That certificate values more from the amount. 500 रुपए का check और एक certificate. So you don't show the check, but you always publish that certificate on all your social medias, because that is something which is encouraging, so appreciation. Then there are celebrations in the organizations to recognize an individual's good effort. Director के साथ में lunch करा दिया, या family get together है. And then there are events and celebrations of various natures. So all these are the examples of reward and recognition and employee engagement activities. All right. Any question?
Yes, sir.
So what is the question?
Sir, the compensation and benefits that the government provides in its services are more than that of private sectors. And sir, practically, if we see that the people are more inclined towards the government services, sir, why is it so? Even though private sectors have a lot of funds.
No. Private sectors, they pay more than the government. It is not that they don't pay.
So, but the compensation and benefits are much more than the private sectors and government sectors.
In government sector, there is a social security.
Yes.
That is a major benefit in government sectors or in the PSUs.
So, because if we look practically, then people said that there is more, that you will be more comfortable in the government services than in private sectors.
What is the psychology behind this?
Sir, that also I don't understand, because so right now
security.
One is security. Okay. Now it is not there. Now if you see in the government sector, there are no permanent placements. Yeah, all ad hoc. So there are temporary placements on the fixed terms,
yes,
even in the government sector.
Much of these services are on contract basis in government.
Contract basis, right? And they are not that highly paid. And it is a fixed pay for years together. The psychology is, one is social security in the government job. If you are a permanent government employee, it is a social security that your provident fund, gratuity, pension, all these things are continued even after you complete your job. है ना, 58 साल, 60 साल, 62 years आप जब भी रिटायर होंगे, आपका सोशल बेनिफिट कंटिन्यू रहेगा, आपका पीएफ, आपका पेंशन, ये सब you will get a good amount as per your incomes and salary and wages. Okay, that is one reason. Second reason about inclination towards government job is that everybody feel that वहां काम नहीं करना पड़ता है, इसके लिए सरकारी नौकरी चाहिए. तीसरा, हमको ऐसा भी लगता है कि यहाँ हमको अलग से भी पैसा बनाने का अपॉर्चुनिटी है ना. We always think, feel, whenever we go to the government offices, we understand, we assume that they despite they are paid, still they ask for some favor, for some benefit. So that is the reason people feel that it is a safe. कोई हमको नौकरी से निकालेगा नहीं. That is the basic reason of going to the government job. You can remain suspended for the entire life, but you will not ask to go. This was the case so far. Now it is not there. Now people are suspended, people are asked to go, people are people are getting terminated also. Okay, a lot of things are happening even in the government jobs today. Things are more ad hoc now than the permanent jobs. And Sundar Pichai earns more than Prime Minister of India.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
So in private sectors, they pay as per your capabilities. And it is not the position or hierarchy, but it is as per your capabilities. So
One
therefore,
more question.
yeah.
Sir, suppose there is a professor in a private college and there is a professor in a government college. Sir, both have qualified PhD net everything that is required for that service. Sir, but why that the government sector is giving more and more benefits to that professor which is in government sector and less benefit to them who is in a private sector?
As I said, every compensation structure is based on various factors. You know, the demography, and the nature of business, competitive advantages. So even when you become a professor in a government college, there are criteria that you are required to be fulfilled. Only doctorate will not help, isn't it?
Yes.
You have to go through UPSC, you have to go through GPSC, you have to go through NEET, you have to go through SET, lot of examinations you have to clear. Then you may get a posting in the government colleges. Okay. Now, government by default has a better structure at certain positions, not for every position. And now even the government colleges are having professors which are on the ad hoc basis. And good B schools, good colleges are paying much more than the government paying to the professors. The only reason is, as I said, social security and job security. These are the two major reasons for which people are going to
that in government sectors there are some 80% thing is that psychological factors that why people are inclined towards the government services.
Absolutely. Largely that is the reason that people are more interested about
more and more income. We can get through many sources more and more income, and that all reason.
काम नहीं करना पड़ेगा, पैसा मिलेगा और अलग अलग तरह से कमा सकते हैं.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So with all these thought process, generally people try for the government job, social security and job security. That is the two major aspects.
Yes.
It is not competitive. There is no challenge. So that is also one factor. But then it is scarcity. You don't have so many government jobs available.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, anyone else? Okay, so assignment for the week. This will have some self-study. Gallup's Q12 questionnaire. Just try to explore, with the help of Google. There are 12 questions which are related to engagement. Okay, so it is a psychometric test, psychometric tool. I think the question will be available on the internet. Gallup's Q12 questionnaire that will help you, to learn and understand the engagement measurement, how it can be done. What are the areas on which your engagement can be measured. Then list 10 engagement activities. Any activity that you think can be an activity which will increase the engagement of the employee. You can relate it with your own, experience or thought process. As I said, school या college जाना हमको अच्छा लगता है, क्यों लगता है? What are the factors, that makes you go to the school, or what are the factors which makes you not go to the school or the college? Okay, certain lectures you like, certain lectures you don't like. So those factors can be, considered when you are answering this second question, engagement activities. And the third, just try and find out what all can be, used as reward and recognition activities. Though I have said few of them, but anything beyond this, if you can think that yes, this can also be done as a recognition activity. This can also be done as a reward in cash, kind, memento, anything. So think of this, explore, and share. You can use my email address. It is hardikandikshit@gmail.com. I'm putting it in the chat. So you can submit the answers on this number, on this email address. Okay, even WhatsApp is possible. If you want, quickly you can send it on 96016933319. Even a WhatsApp will also help. So these 3 questions that will help you to summarize our today's session, whatever we covered. Okay, any question do we have? Can we have the cameras on for all the members? Paran, Shakti, Akriti, Paresh sir, Bharat, Alice, Sisti, Dirisha.
Sir, a question.
Yeah, who is asking? Yeah, Alice.
Sir, assignment should be handwritten or like in a Word document?
Anyway, whatever is comfortable with you.
Okay.
So I got one assignment in PDF. I got one assignment in handwritten. So thank you, Anamika, and I think Srushti was there. And others I will see. I'll ask Neeraj sir. He will send it to me.
Sir, this is the third assignment, sir. 2 more assignments will be there for us, no? Because
one was about personal
flow chart for recruitment and selection process, and another one, sir.
First one was difference between personal management and human resource management.
Difference between personal management and
human resource management.
Okay.
Others can correct me if I'm wrong. Correct? Yeah, that was the first assignment about.
Yes, sir.
So you're finding it interesting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the language, content, the way it is being delivered, it is all.
Yes, sir.
जैसा सोचा था वैसा ही पाया ना कि आशाएं कुछ और थी और मिल कुछ और रहा है.
जितना सोचा उससे बढ़कर पाया.
अरे सर शर्मिंदा कर रहे हैं. Okay, so thank you very much for all of you to remain connected for this entire show. We'll see you tomorrow again, 6 o'clock in the evening. Okay, that will be the last session on HR orientation. So tomorrow we will be talking about performance appraisal. Okay, and some of the legal aspects, certain acts which you should know. We will not be able to cover all of them, but yes, which are different acts that are applicable in the industry or the organization, and you should also know as a HR professional or as a business leader, right? So tomorrow these two things we will be talking, and then if you have the questions, we will be discussing.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So good night. Have a happy Navratri. Enjoy your time. Those who are in Gujarat, they will have engagement again after this session. And otherwise, all other people everywhere else, a happy Navratri.
Thank you, same to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Same to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.